Moscow, as U.S. lawmakers issued a bill that could block Russian broadcasters from being distributed in the U.S. It could allow U.S. distributors to break their contracts, leaving Russian channels without any legal recourse. Samira Khan takes up the story.
This amendment was proposed by Senator John McCain and could potentially create a major barrier for Russian channels broadcasting in the U.S. It would not require distributors to carry content from television networks owned or controlled by the Russian government. The proposal is bundled into a defense spending bill. If this becomes law, it could jeopardize current contracts between Russian channels and U.S. distributors. It could potentially impact RT, which broadcasts in the U.S. Back in January, RT was singled out in an intelligence report which accused the network of trying to sway the U.S. presidential election in Donald Trump's favor. The report, however, contained no evidence whatsoever, only citing what's viewed as a negative reporting on Hillary Clinton. RT is also a regular topic at Senate hearings.
Russia Today.
Propaganda, call them whatever.
RT, a propaganda organ.
Russian propaganda on steroids.
Organ of the Russian government.
I don't know whether average citizens find it more persuasive, but, you know,
I'm afraid they do. In the area of public diplomacy, Russia eats our lunch.
It's also worth noting that there are several foreign governments who fund channels in the U.S., including France 24, which is fully owned by the French government, Al Jazeera, owned by Qatar, also a BBC, which is funded by fees set by the British government. But Russia is the only one targeted. So as always, Russia seems to be getting special attention.
As Samira pointed out, the amendment is part of the National Defense Authorization Act, but the bombshell plan is buried deep inside the multi-page document. The part about Russia is summarized in just a few lines between details on funding of the U.S. military sector. Experts told us all this is no coincidence.
The defense bill often has things stuck in it that have nothing to do with defense. It's like that's how Congress gets things done that they wouldn't be able to just do as a freestanding bill because it would be too ridiculous or it would have too much opposition. So they stick it in the defense bill, figuring that the whole damn thing will get passed. Members of Congress don't read the bills, and so it really could slip past most of the members completely. Presumably they have staff people that read it better, but they don't read it.
There's an obsession on Capitol Hill and in the mainstream media with RT, because RT is effective and RT is watched, but also, and this is very important, because RT carries perspectives that are not available on the mainstream media. The fact of the matter is John McCain and Lindsey Graham, the people behind this amendment, the Atlantic Council and the others that are trying to silence RT, they are the totalitarians. They are the enemies of free speech. They are the enemies of the First Amendment. They don't want anyone coming on television saying that America's foreign policy is a disaster, it is broken, it is making us more vulnerable to attack, and it's costing a fortune. They cannot stand competition in the area of ideas. So Russia is not only the flavor of the month, it's the flavor of the year. You know, there's an obsession. There's the Investigate Russia Committee, where a bunch of Hollywood liberals got together with a bunch of neocons and are finding reds under our beds. There's a hysteria going on in America. I still would like to believe that the average American thinks it's absolutely nuts. I hope it stays that way. Hopefully this will blow over at some point and not blow up.